Welcome to Cheryl's Organic Food For's YouTube channel. This is my Monday night chat. I have every Monday. I've been doing it for about, I want to say 8 months. Could be 7. And if it's your first time here, I want to welcome you. Okay. Let's see who's in the house. Live. Okay. Internet running a little slow. Good evening. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming in and being with us tonight. Let's see who's here. Auntia, thank you for being here. Barb Brownlee is here. Miss B. Washington, Carolina's Homestead, Tommy's Bites, Unicorn Lady, Dorothy Clay Gardner. How's everybody doing? I'm always rushing at the last minute, but I'm here. Okay. Hoyt Robinson is here. Taishi. Hey, Angela Bowden. Hi. Thank you so much for your support. Miller's Garden is here. Okay. Deb M. Okay, I'm going to turn the ceiling fan on and another little small fan, and I'll be right back. The only thing bad about turning fans on, hey Quintella, little truck stop rolling, Dan, Permaculture Food Forest, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Lena J is here. Miss Irene from My Permaculture Garden. I watched your video the other day, I want to think maybe yesterday or this morning about making soap. Myra McCain is here. Sorry, I skipped over you, Myra. You were the second one in. Okay, let me go back up here. I didn't see it. I'm sorry, Myra. You know I love you, lady. Yep, you sure are. It was Tia and then you. I didn't see it. Sometimes it comes in at the same time as another person, Myra. So, yeah, that's probably what happened. Okay. Hello, Lena. If I didn't say your name, guys, I'm sorry. Lolita Edwards. So glad you're here. The only thing about turning the fan on is you stir up that pollen or whatever it is in the air. And I got a lot of plants in here, so. Okay, first thing I want to tell you is I potted up my bay leaf plant, Laurel nobilis, and a couple of you won the plants because I had ordered 4 of them. I think one of the people was Barb Brownlee. I can't think of the other person's name. I can look it up real quick. But if you noticed, if you haven't already potted up, I need you to go ahead and do that because there was hardly any soil in that little small pot. So you're going to need potting mix. Okay? Hi, Wanda B. And thank you, Cherie Benjamin. She says, good evening, Miss Lady Cheryl. I love your videos and teaching. Thanks for sharing with us. Thank you so much. And those are the comments that I remember when not so nice people come in and say something or shoot you an email. You know, you have to think about all the good that's happening from your channel. And I encourage everybody, if this is something that you think you will enjoy, and I love it, start your channel. Some of you have started a channel and maybe took a break, and because it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, but you still have that longing to connect to people and to share what you know, as well as learn things from other people. Start your channel, guys. Go ahead on and do it. Re-energize the channel that you may have not made a lot of videos on. It's a beautiful community out here. We have a few spoilers, a few cheese sandwiches, and we just have to like forget about that and think about all the good that comes out of this. Okay. I don't know if I said Veggie Farm. Thank you for being here. Okay, so yeah, if you bought these plants, these little bay laurel leaves, mini trees, I recommended them. They were on Amazon. I think it was 4 for $19.99, and two people won one, and I've got another one up there up under the light, and I'm growing it for my daughter. And I just put them in a nice, larger size pot, so it can start getting some nutrients. And I don't think they were organically grown because it had like a white substance. But it could have been, I don't know. It might have been diatomaceous earth. I really don't know. But I know something was eating them, and I saw some little insects at the bottom of the plants. So I kept spraying with neem oil, and I kept them in that little pot longer than I should. And when I noticed that it was absorbing all the water immediately, that lets you know that the roots are congested. So now I think it's going to take off because I put it in Vigoro potting mix. But I have to be careful now because I haven't seen any gnats, because I start treating my soursop trees over here and my calamandan tree over here. I start treating them with the neem oil, 1 ounce in a gallon of water. When they were outside, I started spraying them every day, every other day, the surface of the soil, all of the leaves. And so I didn't bring any gnats into my home. But now that I've opened up the bag of Vigoro potting mix, there could be gnat eggs in there. And I didn't want to sanitize it by putting boiling water over it because I don't want to destroy any good healthy organisms like worm castings that's in that potting mix, okay? So now I'm going to start watching real carefully. And if I see something flying around, I'm going to try to kill it on my own, or I'm going to spray it with neem oil and water. I said kill it on my own, that's how I'm going to do it. And then I also have those strips that I told you guys about. I haven't put any up yet. These little sticky papers, traps, whatever you want to call them, and you just hang them up with a little wire. And they come with some wire too. And you can get those at Amazon.com, GreenhouseMakerStore.com, Etsy, eBay, wherever you prefer. And they come in little small pieces or the whole sheet. I prefer the whole sheet because I can just cut them to the size that I want them and save some money. So let me welcome some more people. I see Roots, Shoots, and Garden Boots is here. La Shawanda Muhammad is here. Lolita Edwards. Hi, Lolita. Can the bay leaf bush tree stay in a pot? Yes, yes. You're just going to keep getting, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Some people use them as house plants. Excuse me. Now, you know, I live in Zone 8A, North Texas, Mesquite, to be exact, and we can have temperatures as high as 108. I think that might be the highest temperature. I know it was about maybe, I was still working, so before I retired, 6.5 years ago, we had 15 days straight of 108 degrees. And I'm telling you, it was really, really hot. And when we have temperatures like that, the only thing you can grow is sweet potatoes, okra, and eggplant. They thrive in the heat. But everything else has to be shaded, and you just barely try to keep them alive until the temperature cools down. So, Happy New Year, Brittany Brown. Thank you for being here. Miller's Garden, how did you get yours so tall? If you're talking about the bay leaf, oh, I just planted it right here. It's not that tall. I made all of this soil. Let me see. It's about right here, the roots. So it's not that tall. It's just in a big pot with a lot of growing room. So I shouldn't have to repot this until another year. Or I don't know. I don't have any experience growing the bay leaf, so this is my first time. I assume I could keep it in here a year or at least to the end of the summer. Okay? So that I planted it up high. I didn't plant it down low. Okay? All right. Okay. Hi, Barefruit Gardening. First time seeing you in a while. Okay, somebody mentioned I lived in Arlington, Texas, and it got as high as 115 one year. You know, Simcha, I may have that temperature wrong. Because I lived in Arlington prior to moving to North Dallas and prior to us buying our home. This Easter, I will be in this house 30 years. And I may be wrong about that temperature, but I just remember 15 days in a row. It could have been higher than 108. I think 108 is the highest it's been for the last few years. So you're right about that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because Arlington and Mesquite get the same type of weather. Okay, so it's hard. So those of you, so sweet, bless your heart, that gave me a lot of compliments on my greens that I harvested the other day and canned the next day. Because of my hair and skincare and candle and natural products, I'm downsizing a little bit in my food forest. And then I have like 50 fruit trees, okay? Actually more than that, but I'm giving some away to my children. Because I have to spend a lot of time making the products. I'm a one-woman small business, and I have to do everything. I usually harvest everything in my garden beds around this time. But I have a lot of grow boxes and buckets that keep me going. But I'm going to I'm downsizing some because I bit off more than I could chew when I started the emergency garden, and I don't regret it at all, people. I don't regret it. It was a beautiful thing. But me, Brian, and Bria had to do all the work. And it was just got a little bit too much for me. So I'm downsizing my garden. And when I say downsizing, I mean that I'm not going to grow a lot of things that give me difficulty in the summer months because it is so hot. I'm not going to do a lot of cucumbers, watermelon, squash. Cucumbers, watermelon, squash. I think that's about it. A lot of vining things. Okay? And I'm not going to use as many grow boxes as I was using in the past because it was just too much physically for me to do. So I'm downsizing a little bit. And so I pulled all those greens and I pulled some of the roots up a little bit. The shallow roots I left there. And this week, you're going to see what I do every year during the month of January and February. I get my raised garden beds ready for my spring planting. So they're going to get a break. I'm going to replenish them with compost. And I had to buy some this year because I used all of my homemade compost. And what I have is not aged enough. And I'm going to add a few soil amendments, whatever I have left, like azomite rock dust, I may have to buy some more worm castings. I think I'm almost out of that. I have a little biochar. And then once I do that, and before I do that, I'm going to spray with neem oil. I'm going to drench it really good. I'll probably use like 2 ounces of neem oil to a gallon of water. And then I'm going to spray those garden beds. And I'm going to dig like little trenches so it can get down low. Because I didn't see hardly any insects when I was out there the other day. But I know they're there because it's too warm. And for the next week, we're going to have temps around 60 and around 40 at night. So those bugs are going to come back up. And when they come back, I want to do that 1-2 with that neem oil. And then I'm going to put the amendments in there. And then I'm going to drag out of the garage my leaf chipper. And I'm going to chip up a real big bag of leaves. And I'm going to just cover it up and let the rain just soak it. I may not be able to do it all because we got rain in the forecast. I think starting Wednesday. I'm not really sure. It changes. So I watch it all the time. But I'm gonna get like 2 or 3 good days in a row where we don't have a lot of rain, and then I'm gonna get those garden beds ready. So that by the time I get everything in here and over there out into the greenhouse by the first week, second week at the latest of March, the tomato plants are going to be big like this. And all I have to do is dig a hole and drop them in those garden beds, okay? Now, I'm going to see if you have any questions, and then I'm going to show you the seedlings that are growing over here. I'm glad you're feeling better, Tommy Bites. I think I saw a video of yours. You had COVID. God bless you. Somebody want to know if I had any success growing dragon fruit in your garden zone. I've never tried. I know it's tropical. I do like a challenge, but that's one I never even tried. Okay? Miller's Garden said, Lady Cheryl, thank you for your inspiration. I'm pursuing my business in my hot pepper company. Watching you gives me hope. Thank you. I'm shipping all across the United States. Oh, that's wonderful, Miller's Garden. And Veggie Farm says she lives in North Dallas and she started her seeds already. Yes. Very good. Okay. I'm going to pan the camera around a little bit this way so you can see my seedlings over there. And French marigolds from seeds that I collected from last year. Culinary basil came up. A lot of herbs. Bouquet deal came up. As soon as one comes up, I put them under the light. And you guys can see I didn't have this last year. Last week I think I had a box and a couple of books, but I need to get them up a little bit higher. And then I have a lot of tomatoes that came up. That's why I moved this in here, because I had carpet. So if a little seed starting mix fall out, I can just sweep it up because it's a porcelain tile in here. So I have a lot of tomato seedlings. Now, once they get, I'm coming really close, so you can see this one right here. It's putting on its second leaf. See that set right there that's coming up? And right here, once it puts on its second set, I will take these, and my nephew, Poor Farmer 76, I call him my nephew, he talked about those liquor cups. I will separate some of these, and I'll cut the weak ones off, and I'll put them in that liquor cup, and I will bury them all the way up to here, because all along this fuzzy stem, all of those will grow roots. Everybody with me? Okay. I'll get your questions in a minute. And this is going to be hard for me to take this one out. It's okay. I'll clean everything up. And there's a lot of tomatoes back there. The peppers haven't germinated. Tomatoes can come up fast. Marigolds come up fast. Most herbs will come up fast. But This is Hibiscus 2019 seed. This is the only one that has come up. And it came up within the first week. And I have all these trays behind me. And if any of you have Googled it, you'll know that it could take up to a month. It could take 2 to 3 weeks. You can nick the seed, and I don't like for people or to recommend people do that because I don't want them to damage the seed so bad that that it doesn't grow. And I don't recommend people soak the seeds overnight, maybe an hour or two, because sometimes they'll get mushy. One writer said to soak them in hot water for 24 hours. I've done that before, and the seeds got mushy. So I just tell people to have faith. Hi, Yankee sister. Have faith and just plant the seeds and lightly moisten the top until they germinate. But it makes a really pretty leaf. It's distinctive, and you know it's not any of your other plants. And if you go and look at my YouTube channel, I created, as I promised, a playlist of me growing the Texas Star Hibiscus, so you'll know what to expect. But it's worth it. No, you're not going to have 14 feet plants the first year. It's going to take you about 3 years to catch up to where I am. This plant is very hardy. It will grow in most zones. You're going to have to research your lowest temperature to see, maybe I'll do that for you next week to see if it'll grow that long in your area in the wintertime. But in my area, the plants are perennial and they're protected in a raised garden bed, and they don't start growing up and shooting up through the soil until about the last of May. Okay? So some master gardeners say that you should keep the temperature between 80 and 85 degrees, especially if you're planting a perennial hibiscus. But if you are, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Did I say that wrong? Let me think. Let me say that again. Some master gardeners, through my research, feel that tropical hibiscus germinate better in temperatures of 80 to 85 degrees. And perennial or cold hardy hibiscus germinate better in temperatures between 70 and 75 degrees. So that's why I have the heating pads. Okay? So that'll keep them about 70 degrees. And then I've got that heater. I had them over here last week. And then I put them at the top where I don't think you can see, but I'm going to go up a little bit higher so you can see. Yeah, you see the shop lights over there? Excuse me. That, I had them above there, but I had to get on a step ladder every time I wanted to check them every day. And I just said, that's ridiculous. How can I tell people who are coming to my class to be patient for the seeds to germinate? Putting them way up there only going to make them germinate a few days maybe earlier. So I brought them down so it'd be safer and I won't be falling off the ladder in this house by myself. And I have the heating pad, so that keeps them about 70 to 75 degrees. Another thing I wanted to say is I don't put the domes over it unless I vent them or buy the kind somebody in the group said they had the vented domes, because I don't have any fungus. Now, what I'm turning this off because it's got my allergies going. What I'm sharing with you is stuff that it took me years to learn. I used to have fungus all over my plants, but I don't have that issue anymore. Am I never going to have any fungus on these plants? I don't know. But I do precautionary measures to keep it down. So I put the neem oil in the boiling water in the Jiffy Seed starting mix. And then I just lightly spray the seedlings individually until they come up. Once they come up, I shared with you last week. I put them all in a tray and I put an inch of water at the bottom and let it absorb from the bottom. So I try to keep this dry. And then the grow lights are going to keep them kind of dry. So if you don't give your seedlings the perfect, ideal place for fungus to grow, it's not going to grow that much. Does that make sense? And funguses grow in dark, damp, wet places. So you keep this dark and damp, it's going to grow. Somebody said that cucumbers and collards have come up already. Cool. Where do you get your lights? Yolanda S. wants to know. I bought those lights, shop lights. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's. I bought them, some of them from Home Depot, some from Overstock.com. I use a 32-watt bulb. That's the key. Because if you get one of those real strong light bulbs, you cannot put that plant 2 inches from it. It's going to dry out. You go to work, you come back, your plants have all died or burnt up. So I use a 32-watt bulb. It's not hot at all, but it generates enough light for the seed to germinate and grow well until you can get it back out to your greenhouse. Yes, unicorn lady. We are all in this together. And that's why I did not say, oh, thank you, Auntia. Sticky Muddy Puddle, welcome. And yes, I'm not wearing the colors in that shirt. It's a jumpsuit. It's a jumpsuit. That's why I didn't tell you all in the beginning. It's going to take a long time to germinate the hibiscus seeds because I didn't want to discourage anybody. I wanted to encourage you, and also you will learn patience because I know everybody is looking at the seeds every day because every morning when I come in and turn my lights on, I'm going like, okay, nothing yet. I feel like Whoopi Goldberg's character in the color purple. She kept looking at the mailbox. Anything for me? Anything come for me? That's how I feel about my seeds when I look at them in the morning. I'm going, any one of you all came up yet? And I was really excited this morning when I saw the second leaf come on here. Can you see that real close? So it's going to take off now. So the rest of these, they'll probably come up in a week. So, like I said, I was telling you about the master gardeners. One in particular, I don't know if you all heard of him. He's called the Gangster Gardener. Michael Finley, I think his name. He has a class on a master class, and you can pay for it online and take it. He's a bad brother. And he was talking about how the tropical, because he's out there in Los Angeles, the tropical hibiscus that he was growing take a month. I saw a little snippet online. He said he don't like green vegetables. He don't like kale and stuff like that, but it's good for you, you know? So he was talking about how he got his name and how he felt like gardening was gangster. And it's really, really remarkable, okay? All right. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? Okay, so BB wants to know what kind of grow light bulbs are you using for your clip lights? Very good question. I shared that with you guys before. I use a 9-watt light. This one came from either Walmart or Amazon. And then over here, can you all see that? No, you can't see that. But you can see this one right here. This is a 25-watt full spectrum bulb. Now, for growing vegetables, and I say this in a lot of lives, you only need this or the shop light. But if you're growing something that's going to fruit, who is that? Can't think of her name right now, but she had COVID. Carolina's Homestead. Cucumbers. If you can't get them in the ground, you're going to need a full spectrum light. Anything that's going to fruit. Or if you're trying to grow tomatoes inside, or even peppers, anything that's going to flower and produce a fruit. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. Hey, Debbie Epps, nice to see you. Myra McCain says she's in New Jersey. Her seed's not coming up yet, but she's got faith. Yeah, you don't really want them to come up too quick. You want to time that where there'll be a nice size that'll be strong enough to handle the wind and everything. And it'll be a while before you can put yours out. So I'm not going to even put my hibiscus plants outside. Even in March, they will be in the greenhouse. Okay. Hello, Yolanda S. Thank you very much, Yolanda. Okay. Now, talking about the wind. Did I spend enough time on talking about the germination of the seeds? You all can Google it. And if you want to stratify your seeds and nick them or soak them in water, don't do all of them. If you want to sacrifice one or two of the seeds you got in your package, by all means experiment. But don't do all of your seeds like that in case you mess them up. Now, I was talking about the wind. When you have grown your seeds inside your home, your grow room, if you're fortunate enough to have a heated greenhouse or a sunroom connected to your home, before you can put your plants outside, you have to acclimate them to the outside environment. How many of you all live in a windy area? We had winds like crazy the last couple of days. And some people who did not properly anchor their greenhouses, they got picked up and moved to neighbors' yards because the winds are so high. I saw a hand go up. Clausen World. So we've been having a lot of high winds. So what you do to give your plants or to mimic the wind that your plants are going to be outside in is to put a fan on them. So that's that little oscillating fan that I had on. And then I have another one that's going to stand up right here, and it's just going to oscillate, and it's going to go all the way around and put breeze on all of these plants. I may even put a box fan up here. I don't know. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. How many of you have grown seeds inside your home, and they were looking good, and you did everything right, so you thought, and as soon as you put them outside, for just a few minutes, they died? Anybody? All of the leaves on the mire went crazy with the wind. I used my ring light and my plants germinated. Very good, Tommy. That's really a good one. I didn't think about that because I got a little small ring light. I got several of them. I could have done that too. But yeah, so you're going to have to put some wind on them. And if you look at any of my seed starting videos on my playlist for the Texas Star Hibiscus, you'll see that I start putting oscillating fans on them. I always say that word wrong. Oh, Nat Homesteader says she has done that last year. Yeah, I don't know where I learned that from or read it or saw somebody. Could have been somebody on YouTube. I don't even remember. But I know I've been doing it for at least 10 years now. And it makes a big difference. Real Life with the Rosses. Hi, first time here on your live chat. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. And Terry Griffin admitted it. She said she's done it, and that was so sad. And it is, because it's like you're growing these seeds. It's like they're your babies. So I'm here to help guide you through the process. Those of you that are starting the Texas Star Hibiscus, don't stop with just those seeds. You see, I showed you that I'm growing a lot of different types of tomatoes, basil, dill, parsley, rosemary. That keeps me going while I'm waiting patiently for all the Texas Star Hibiscus. I got a whole tray of Texas Star Hibiscus. I think it's right here. And I have a lot of zinnias I just started, a lot of marigolds. I'm not going to start my Morning Glories, and something else I'm going to grow. I'm not going to start them until March because they start getting so long and viney. And I know what it is I'm trying to think of. Okra and eggplant. I said March, but I meant February. I'm not going to start those until I start moving these out of 6-packs, putting them into the 2-cut system. You know, the little white clear cup and the red cup. And then once I get all of these out, then I will start, and here is the cup. And these have to be sanitized. Because I started to put some hibiscus in here, and I said, nah, that's gonna be really hard to heat up. But this is the next step when we get 2 or 3 leaves on that hibiscus. Then we will put them in here, and that's when you go into the potty mix. And that's when you got to start hanging up your little strips and being very careful so that you don't get a lot of gnats in your home. Okay? Any questions so far on why you need to put that fan on them? It acclimates them to the elements outside. It mimics wind. And it toughens them up too, and it makes them real strong. Are there any questions about why we bury that tomato plant all the way up to the leaves? Because it has fibrous roots and it will continue to grow. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see if we got any questions. That's another one. Simchi. I will start my sunflowers. I usually start them in January, and it's too, they get so big. I have to move them to the greenhouse and put them in a big pot. And I don't grow the dwarfs anymore, except for that dwarf teddy. I grow the mammoth sunflowers. Really, I don't even save the seeds anymore. I just do them for my grandbabies because they love them. And they're like one of the first flowers that bring a lot of pollinators to your yard. So I'm going to start those in February. Okra, eggplant, moonflowers, and sunflowers. That's on my list for February. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, any questions about the lights? I think I covered everything. Now let me show you what I'm getting ready to do. And what I'm getting ready to say is no poor reflection on anybody. Please don't take this the wrong way. This is Mylar paper. Everybody see it? I bought this, and I'm going to let you see how much I still have on this row. I got a lot on this boat. I don't remember the dimensions, but I know I bought it 7 years ago. And what I do with this Mylar paper is I put it all down the sides of my wire shelves. I'm going to have to get up and I'm going to have to show you. Move this a little bit over here. Can you see that? Yeah. So I'm going to take this Mylar paper and I'm going to measure it right here. Can you see me? Yeah, you can see me. And then I'll just tape it on. And look here, guys. Here's some of the tape from last year. And then I'm just going to tape it on. And then I'll turn it around. And I'm going to put it all across the back. Bria will be here and she'll help me do it tomorrow. Okay? And as I start filling the trays up, the shelves up, then I'll even put one in the front. And it'll be like one of those enclosed grow rooms, one of those real expensive tents, grow tents that people buy. But I just do it with that Mylar paper. And I've been having that for 7 years. I got it off of eBay. I want to say it was about $30 or $40. I don't know what it costs now. But I never regretted buying it. Because it's really going to illuminate everything in here. And that is Mylar, Yankee sister. Fall is okay, but it's just expensive. I don't care if you get it at the dollar store. By the time you buy all that foil, you could have bought you a row and last you 7 years. So if you have the funds, check it out on eBay. If you have the funds. And then, because I used to go to the dollar store and buy foil, and you don't get that much in the dollar store foil. But I taped it all the way across the wall in the old grow room. Okay, so sometimes you can get stuff inexpensively, but in the long run, you don't save that much money. So I would recommend you buying the Mylar on the roll if you can. Okay? Any questions about the Mylar to reflect light? Any questions about supplementing your grow area with a fan, if that's okay? Okay. All right. Now we're going to move on to, a makeshift grow box. Now you're thinking, Ebony, outside the box. Because some people take those tubs. Like I brought these two out of the grow room. Can you see them right there? Let me see. Yeah, you see those two plastic things right there? Those are my grow boxes that I put my 2-cup system in. And then I fill them all up and take that, and I carry them out to the greenhouse. And then that's how I water them too. When they're at this state. I just put some water down at the bottom there. You probably see a little soil in there when I did it this morning. Okay? And then I've seen people that do the grow boxes. They take the ones that are bigger than that, a tote, and they cut a hole to drop a grow light in there, and they put foil or the Mylar, and they have some little holes for breathing, for ventilation. There's so many things that you can do. So many things that you can do to help yourself. You could take cardboards and line them with foil as well. Thank you, Roots, Shoots, and Garden Boots. I don't have Mylar bags, but I saw someone said you can use the sunscreen things. People, yes, I've done that. The sun visor. I sure did. I didn't get them for $1 though. I think they were like $2.99 from Dollar General or General Dollar, something like that. Okay, somebody is saying every fruit they attempted to grow last year produced nothing except honeydew melons, and picked the one, and I picked the one that grew too soon. It happens if that's your, excuse me, if you don't have any experience doing it, you may want to research and only grow 1 or 2 instead of trying to grow a whole lot at one time, and you're trying to learn a whole lot of things at one time. Angela's Garden she said that's what she did. She made a grow box out of a storage bin. Then she used the clamp on grow light, works wonderfully well, and she'll do it again this year. Yeah, so, and really what Angela just said about the grow box is what I'm saying to you, Gratefully Natural, is try 1 or 2 fruits. Master one of them before you move on. Because if you are growing a whole lot of stuff at one time, you're not going to master it. Okay? So we all are learning as we go. Thank you, Antia. Gratefully Natural says she no experience, a new gardener. Gratefully Natural, there are groups on Facebook that you can join. And you will be with like-minded people. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be in this group, because you certainly should. Because I have a whole lot of brand new gardeners in this group. And so the advice that I'm giving you is the same advice that I give them. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Take baby steps. Okay? And maybe not grow everything from seed. Maybe buy some transplants. It's very rewarding, but it could be disappointing if you try too much too soon and you don't get any results. It could be a little discouraging. Somebody's talking about the extension office, I'm sure. Okay, okay, I see what happened. Tranquil Lush Paradise. Some of the people in the group chat are answering your question because I didn't see it. And I thank the people that are trying to help her. We're in this together, like Auntie said. But if you put your question in all caps, this soon to be 67-year-old lady may see it. So your question was how to grow tropical fruit trees in cold climates, how to protect them from frost. Baby, you're going to have to bring them inside. You're going to have to bring them inside or have a heated greenhouse like I do, or have these trees in the house like I do. Or you can erect a mini greenhouse over the tropical tree and maybe string C9 or C7 Christmas decoration lights in it to generate some heat, or put a heat lamp in it. I don't know what you're growing or how cold it is or what your growing zone, but I would say stick to growing what can handle freezing temperatures or cold temperatures in your area until you build up some experience with working with fruit trees. When I started growing fruit trees, I didn't jump in and start growing tropicals. In fact, that was the last thing I started trying to do. I researched and I bought all these books on what grows well in my area. And I compared the main three books. And if one of them said, for example, Santa Rosa plum is a good plum to grow in North Texas. And then the other one listed some different plum trees and they said Santa Rosa plum. If all three of them said Santa Rosa plum, I bought Santa Rosa plum. If they said Methley plum and only one person said it, I wouldn't buy Methley. But in my case, I did because all three of those master gardeners in those books told me the same thing. And so find out what grows at your local extension office or farmersalmanac.com, or get with somebody in this group that's in the same growing zone with you, or find a YouTuber in this group or other groups that grow in the same growing zone that you're in, and you'll know what is compatible and what will work in your area. Because most fruit trees, especially non-tropical ones, have to have a certain amount of chill hours. And if your climate does not reach those chill hours, you're not going to get any fruit. So getting back to what I was saying, how I answered your question, I started growing a lot of other fruit trees that can handle my temperatures before I start venturing off and growing a banana plant or a soursop tree or lemon, lime, miho satsuma, that type of thing. Okay? All right. So thank you for taking my advice. She says she's in 7B. Anybody in here in 7B? If you're in 7B or Tennessee, put yes, type in yes for Gratefully Natural so we can help her. Mason gone with Mama Nature 67 and looking like 40 something. Oh, thank you, Mason. Oh, that's so sweet. That's really sweet of you. But I feel like 67. I may not look it, but my body feels like it. Okay. All right. I think I got everybody. Thank you, Tia. Please put that question in all caps. Okay. Cheryl Taylor. Hey, Lady Cheryl, how do you get rid of moles in your yard? I don't have any, but I know people that do. For example, my sister in Indiana. They buy windmills. There's something about that windmill in your yard. They say moles don't like it. Also, I just bought these. These are not for moles. These are rodent repellents. And these are by Victor Pet Chaser Pro. And you put these in your attic, You can put it in your kitchen, in your garage. I only have one right now in the garage in the basement because I have these, I hope you can see that. I have these, and this came in like 2 weeks ago, so I don't mind. I could touch it and don't have to worry about COVID. I put one in the garage, but I'm gonna put two in the attic. I have these ventilation slats on my roof around my chimney that keep, the chimney from catching on fire or getting too hot or whatever. And you can get squirrels or possums will try to come up in the attic. And they only come up in the attic when it's cold. By the way, it has a 6-foot cord. And when you plug it in, it'll light up here and it'll let you know. In fact, let's see if I can plug it in. And it has a little screeching sound that you can't hear. But the little rodents like rats, mice, squirrel, possum, or whatever, raccoons, they don't like that sound, and they'll run out if they try to get in your attic. Okay, so let me see if I can find a plug. I don't know if I have one. I'm gonna have to unplug the light. Oh, okay. Did that red light come on? Yeah. You see that red light? You can't hear it. But if I was to put the speaker by my ear, I can hear a little buzz. I don't know if you all can hear that, but I can hear it. Okay? So that's what I'm going to try. Because something ate up my eggplant and some of my peppers. And so what I did was I got those, but before I got that, I got one of those little wire traps. They wouldn't come near it. My son-in-law said they probably just moved on and they didn't want your food anymore. And also I bought a outdoor another ring light, and we have it anchored down low so I can go to my phone at any time and look if I can see anything crawling around, on the ground. So I did all this now to get ready for the next season. Because for years I've been gardening and didn't have nothing coming eating my food. Okay? So, taking precautions. So I bought 3 of those, and I'm going to put 2 of them in the attic. Because I can hear a little scratching. Most rodents are nocturnal. I think I said that right. So when we're sleeping is when they try to climb up there and move around and stay warm. And then they leave. Okay? Okay, I've been watching you. And thanks for the advice. I tried my lemon and peach again. All right, good for you. All of my 2 lemons and 2 limes and my little mini orange tree is out in the greenhouse. Okay? And they are, the lemon and limes, 4 of them, they are 2 of each. They are dwarf trees. But we get enough, so that's a good thing. Okay, Tranquil Lush Paradise. She's in Melbourne, Australia. 9A. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Yes, I'm new. I started last year and I hope not to make the same mistakes. But if you don't try, you'll never know. Tommy Bites, that is a wonderful attitude to have. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't, just keep trying. Cheryl Taylor said, I've heard of castor oil, but haven't tried it yet. I don't know what that's for. Until, can you tell me what the castor oil was for? I bought castor oil to put into a bug repellent. Okay. Hey, best yet. I didn't know you were here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Hey, Nas. Nice to see you. You must be working. Thank you for coming in. How's your canning going? Nas, a beautiful lady. Who's that? Best yet. She was in that class with you when we did the canning class. Okay, so now, right now, everybody, if you have organic pesticide, that's what I use the castor oil for. What is it, Dr. something? Dr. Fruit. It's a real expensive spray you can use on your fruit trees. I bought 2 bottles of it, and then I wrote down all of the oils, and I made it myself. But I didn't like it as good as just the plain neem oil, water, and Dawn dish soap. But that's what I bought the castor oil for. Okay, so now I want everybody, if you have a website, will you please, please, please put yes and your growing zone. So when this is published and people come back and watch the replay and they need some help, then we can help them. Yes, Simcha, you are right. I need to get some chicken wire over the slats because I know that it has deteriorated. Yes, but I was doing some research and it said they'll try to find another way to get in. I don't know. But you right, Simchi. You exactly right. I'm gonna have that done too. Thank you for writing that. Okay, Jean Dudley wants to know how to get rid of leaf. You said liners, but I think it's minors in tomato plants. I've never had them in tomato plants. I've had them in green beans and okra. I let a plant be sacrificed. I can't get rid of them with neem oil and water or diatomaceous earth because they get inside of the leaves. So I'll just leave one for as sacrificial and let it take it out. You can't just pull the leaves off and destroy them. Make sure you don't put them in the compost so you won't be breeding it again. But I have never ever been able, Jean Dudley, to get rid of leaf miners. I can't help you there. You have to get a pesticide for that, and I'm not going to do it. Okay. And for those of you that don't know what leaf miners are, they get inside the leaves and they leave like a little squiggly line, a trail, and it look kind of white-like. Okay? And it sucks the life out of the plant. Okay. See, all these people have YouTube channels. Great. Anywhere where you see yes and a zone. And I love that Deb M put her state in there too. She's in Florida. And Leanna J is in Florida. This is good to know. Nas says the candy is going great. She's made applesauce, apple pie filling, more chicken, and your crock pot onions. All right. My next project is your pasta sauce. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of canning, I did the greens, and the greens are heavy. And when you can anything that's heavy, like this hurting my wrist, because I sprung it. When you can anything heavy, remember to don't go past this line with the liquid because it's going to build up pressure and it's going to siphon out a little bit and be in your canning pot. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the greens. And if those of you that watched my canning video on how I did these greens, I forgot to put the vinegar in the pot before I put the jars in. So it was like a black film all across all the little rings and the lids. And I got up this morning, washed my bottles off like I normally do, my jars off. And I just put a little Dawn dish soap right there and it came right off. And I made a quick little short video about it. But next time, put your vinegar in your water. But I did the wrong way. Not perfect. Hey, what can I say? But I knew what was inside of it, even though it had like a little black acid stain on it. I still knew the greens inside were good. But it does look attractive when you can get that off. Okay. All right. Hey, Candy Wallace, good to see you, girl. I'm glad you're here. Oh, my lady, Simple Elegance, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you're in Northeast Texas. All right. Indiana, Brownlee. Yeah, I'm originally from Indiana. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was listening to somebody and they were saying something about they know when people are not using their natural voice. Some of us have migrated from different areas of the country. And I used to have a northern accent until I moved south. And I found when I was teaching beauty school, if I say things with more of a southern twang to it, the students related to me better. So it's not that sometimes people are using a phony voice or something like that. It's sometimes some people have a gift of being able to communicate with all people, no matter where they're from. Not that one part of the country is better or worse than the other. I'm just saying they can relate. I'll give you a perfect example. My son, the one that owns the barber shop, he's the one that kind of took after me. He's good, guys. He's good. And before the pandemic, I would go in there every now and then. I'd just get a little eyebrow arch. And he said, okay, I got to get my mom. That's, oh, no, I don't have nothing to do. I hadn't watched him in a long time. And it was just amazing to me. And he could do, I'm not going to drop names. I'll just say, he can do a Dallas Cowboy or he can do the attorney that just left the courtroom. And it's just something that they have, that connection, and the way they talk with them and that little handshake that they do. It's amazing. And it's a perfect example of how people can communicate with others and they're not really being phony. They're just being themselves, but they know how to communicate with people from all different walks of life and backgrounds. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So I just want to say that. Because, and I think I shared this with you before, when we first moved from Fort Worth to Arlington, my oldest son, and by the way, he's a teacher now and a coach. But you couldn't keep his attention when we moved to Arlington because it was an open classroom. And this is how his teacher spoke. And she complained about whenever she called on him, he would be daydreaming, he would be someplace else. And she invited me to come over to the school and observe. Good morning, students. Take out your math book and turn to page 25. And today we're going to learn about celery or whatever. This is a Baker Creek. They sent me 3 catalogs, guys. I guess I buy so much for them. I'm on so many different lists. They sent me 3. Don't ask me for it because I already gave them away. Gave 2 of them away. But anyway, so I went over to the school, right? Thank you, Angela. So I went over to the school so I can observe. And she would say, open up to page 342. We're going to go over, this monotone voice. Well, they had open classrooms. They had like shelves separating the class. And my son was next to that shelf. And he was listening to the class next door because they were having a lot of fun. Okay, students, open up your books to page 348. Today, we're going to learn how to divide. So when we got through with the observation and talked to the teacher, I thanked her very much for allowing me the opportunity to come to the school and could I speak with the principal. And I asked the principal, could my son be transferred? He was in the other room. That's why he wasn't paying her boring monotone but any attention. So you can't complain, guys, that you don't have any subscribers if you're not going to give people, one, good information about gardening. Let them have some fun while you're showing them things, and they'll come back. I don't care how smart and how much of a comedian you are, you can hold someone's attention for a while, but after they feel that they're not learning from you, they'll stop coming back. And that is why I purposely, strategically choose my subjects and give you some pearls from Cheryl in almost every video. I may not say Cheryl, pearls from Cheryl's on the video, but I want you to keep coming back because I don't want you to be like Trey that was in the next room. Everybody feel me? Okay, I almost got tears in my eyes thinking about my son, how the lady tried to label him as being slow, and now he's a teacher and a coach in junior high school. But he was making all bad grades in her class because she was so monotone and so boring. Okay, so you know I always like to end my lives with a little bit about life. You guys know I love you. God loves you too. I'm going to go over one more time to make sure that I did not skip anybody. Thank you, Cheryl Taylor. The best thing you can do is go and sit in your children's class. That way you can see for yourself what is happening. I never put that teacher down in front of her face. But when I talk to the principal, I said, I'm sure you're aware that she speaks in a monotone manner all the time. My son was next door. Can we get him transferred over there? Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, if it's not any more questions, we are going to wrap this up. Be patient. If you came in late, watch the replay. Your seeds will germinate. It's just going to take some time. Okay? Joyce Moore says she did the exact same thing with her boys. Master Garden Master 242. Yep, gotta go to the school. That's it, babe. May your evening be as lovely as you. Thank you for another Monday filled with love, honesty, and knowledge. Oh, stinky muddle puddle. Oh, God. You just touched my heart. Oh, yes, due to COVID-19. By the way, let me tell you how good God is. I told you guys that I do 2 clients. Another one is my daughter. One of my customers got COVID. She did not come in the day after Christmas because she was sick. But she came in the following week. And then the next week, she was sick again. Went and took a test, she had COVID. It's been 3 weeks. I did not get COVID. You want to know why? Because we practiced sanitation. I don't care if I was giving them a hair color or a relaxer. We never took our mask off. I would just rinse behind the ear real good and get that relaxer or get that color off, okay? God protected me. You understand? I was right there breathing in there with the lady, but I never let my guard down. I never did practice sanitation. And so my son, that's a barber, when that COVID really got crazy, I said, Andre, please take care of yourself. He said, Mama, you make me nervous when you say that. I don't have to be told to practice good sanitation every day because I was taught by the best. I looked at him, he said, you. I never got a mark from the Cosmetology Commission when they came into my salon to inspect it. Because I do everything now that I've been doing all through the years. I always sanitize behind everybody. I sanitize the equipment stuff. Only thing I'm doing different now is wearing a mask. And that saved me, and I know God saved me too. All right, good night, everybody. You know I love you. Good night. Take care, everybody.